In today's therapy session, a tour of some of the businesses, services, and landmarks that make Port Grace in the Upper Barnstable Valley such a great place to live, work, and play with trains. When you ride into the train station, you can't help but notice the names on buildings housing the town's light industries. Port Grace is known for attracting, shall we say, a different kind of business vision, with helpful tax breaks and unique mood-altering gift baskets. For example, Just for Kids Plastic Explosives, the brainchild of entrepreneur Spirea Lovebucket. Spirea noticed that most plastic explosives are targeted to the 18-plus demographic, leaving a big gap in the market. She fills it by importing tiny explosives for children, adding a new dimension of dangerous play value to Lego, Thomas the Tank Engine, and My Little Pony, among other popular toy franchises. Next door, a very successful family business. Knobs R Us, manufacturers of fine knobs for a variety of electrical, mechanical, and senior management applications. Walter Knob and his son Booker T. Knob report significant year-over-year growth as the need for knobs in both the public and private sectors continues to rise. Among the largest manufacturers in Port Grace is Lost in Spades, makers of quality gardening tools for terrestrial as well as interplanetary markets, such as Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter too. Founded in 2020 by a distant second cousin of Herman's Hermits guitarist Derek Leckenby, Lost in Spades products come with a multi-lifetime guarantee, so even the crappiest gardener can sleep soundly knowing their tools will last far longer than they will. Just behind Lost in Spades is Antarctica's Brewing Company, makers of the famous Rowdy Penguin Pale Ale, a remarkably popular local bevy, and not just because it doesn't take much to get hammered. With its hoppy hoppiness and a finish vaguely reminiscent of a bowl of Himalayan kumquat beans, a Pint of Pengy is among the most refreshing beverages in the history of the universe. Just ask patrons of the Blink and Tipple, our highly regarded pub-style pub, conveniently located just a short stroll from the train station. Comfy, quiet, and equipped with anti-accordion sensors, it truly is the community's meeting place. Serving the 176ers and 187Zs of the Upper Barnstable Valley, as well as the 164thers of the Lower Valley, with S-scale pints at HO00 prices. So next time you're in town, come on into the Blink and Tipple and have a pint of Pengy. The terminal complex is managed by the Port Grace Port Authority, the center of which is stately Port Grace Station. Peripheral buildings include the main engine shed, our primary service facility for all manner of locomotives, coaches, and other rolling stock. The west engine shed, which is also available for weddings, poultry exhibitions, and medieval banquets. A stores building, where, among other things, the lost and found can be, found. And Station Master Ted's high-tech and impossibly bright switching and administration office, the nerve center of the operation. If Port Grace Station looks rather British, it's no coincidence. Many station buildings, along with the Blink and Tipple pub, were built many years ago by old money benefactor Ralph of the d'Urbervilles. Sir Ralph, as he liked to call himself, was smitten with British architecture and had his favorite old country buildings reproduced here in the Upper Barnstable Valley, so he could enjoy them any time he liked, along with a pint of Pengy. Education is at the core of the Port Grace success story. One reason? Lester Batts's School for Embarrassed Overachievers, a private academy for gifted yet self-conscious youngsters. Its slogan? In Port Grace, no one can see you blush when you ace that quantum physics exam. And yes, everyone knows embarrassed isn't spelled correctly on the sign. But the typo serves to lower expectations, so students can relax a bit and succeed on their own terms. Among the town's less successful enterprises is St. Badithia's abandoned smokehouse. The now derelict building was the local public school until Lester Batts came to town and lured all the students away with his magic flute. I won't comment on that because the case is still before the courts. In any event, the building was converted into a smokehouse by an anonymous dietitian who named it after Badithia, patron saint of people who love carrots. St. Badithia's Smokehouse opened its doors in 1969 with a mission to supply restaurants with fine smoked foods. Unfortunately, the foods in question were vegetables, lettuce and parsley and rutabagas, and yes, carrots, all of which proved difficult to smoke, at least in the culinary sense. Not surprisingly, the business failed, and the anonymous dietitian left town to join a commune. There are other points of interest as well, like the childhood home of Ryla Wareborn, inventor of the self-charging spoon. And yes, she still has a mortgage. Old Granny Bilberry's enchanted cottage, the Tipple-Stop train shelter and lending library, and a few more local businesses we haven't yet touched on that contribute greatly to the economic powerhouse that is Port Grace in the Barnstable Valley. All stories for another day.